Yet 2 seconds. I'm just going to invite a couple onto stage as well. Andy, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can somebody just quickly check that we are streaming to YouTube correctly and there's audio? I'm sure there will be. Hopefully I've got past those technical errors that I used to make, but I just want to make sure because this update is so important. I'll just give it a couple of minutes for
loading,
people.
Simon. Just give me a minute. It's loading.
Yeah.
It's just a bit slower.
Yes, you are live with sound on YouTube.
Cool.
You beat me to it.
Okay. So this will be a very short update because I've been speaking to the guys at Future Tech, Infiniverse. They've been speaking to the guys at Oculus. We are going to have to delay by till 9 PM tomorrow, which is 9 PM UK, which is 8 PM UTC. I know it's going to be disappointing for some, but there's some benefits on the other side of this. One of the issues we are having when we've been testing this is it is requiring someone at the point of assigning the apartment to their account to have an Oculus device. So it's popping up the message, launch in VR, which obviously some of you cannot do if you don't have an Oculus headset. Now, one of the things we were doing, and I say were because this is about to change, is assigning the apartments and penthouses from the centre of Megastar City outwards. Now, as things stand, I don't want to give an advantage to the people that have an Oculus over those that don't have an Oculus. So if we were to launch it tonight, well, or tomorrow, and I'm not delaying past tomorrow, that's unquestionable, right? So we've always been launching the city on the 19th, so we're still launching on the 19th, albeit 9 PM UK, 8 PM UTC. We'll put an announcement out after this with all of the correct times in PST, EST, and all the weird times in the US where most of you guys live. But so the fact is, currently, we can't assign the apartment without you having an Oculus. We are not going to give those people an advantage because it's not fair. And we've always said that we want to make sure that everybody gets treated the same in the whole project. Everyone who bought a Jungle Cat and minted it should have the same opportunity to be in the centre of Megastar City. So we have changed we've changed to random assignment. So it means that, and while we're going through this, if anybody wants to put any questions in the AMA chat, they can do. Like I say, I'm not going to be on here for very long because with this being such an important update, I want people to be able to watch this video back, in like 5 or 10 minutes maximum. So this is not going to be like an hour long AMA by any means, right? So what we're doing is we're making it so that you will be able to claim your apartment at any point up to 2030. That is the cut-off date that I've agreed with Oculus now. So that gives people plenty of time to claim, hopefully. And if you haven't claimed by December 31st, 2029, you can come back and watch this video and say, oh, maybe I had enough time to do so. So you've now got whatever it is, the best part of 8 years to go and claim, at which point your code will expire. Now, having spoken to San at Multiverse, Future Tech, there's been some level of miscommunication around using a VR headset. My personal opinion is that possibly Oculus and Meta are moving the goalposts to try and force people to have a headset. We know that other options are going to be available in the near future. So be that a web browser, an HTC headset, mobile phone, all of these other access points into the Infiniverse and multiverse will exist in the not too distant future. So if you haven't got an Oculus right now, those will enable you to be able to claim in shorter order. But that is also why there is now no rush. So there's no rush whatsoever to go and claim your apartment, because, and we know, we do know that obviously there was going to be a fair few people sitting up till midnight tonight trying to be the first in and making sure that they got right in the centre of the map, etc., etc. There's now no rush whatsoever, because as of 9 p.m. tomorrow, UK 8 p.m. UTC, you can go in at your leisure and you will be assigned an apartment or a penthouse at that point. So equally, penthouses and apartments will be assigned completely randomly. We have no way of knowing what code matches what. They're not sat in an account anywhere where I can go and see what's what. They are completely random. And when you get given those codes, you will redeem it as soon as you have the ability to do so. And it will assign you, you could end up in the penthouse, right in the centre of the map, and redeeming that code in 5 years' time, for all I know. Okay? So obviously the benefit to the project is we're going to have a whole bunch of joke logos sat all over that city until such time as people come through and claim. It just means there's no rush, and we will do our best to push. I am already pushing very hard with Future Tech and Oculus to speed the process up. Trust me, when I get a phone call an hour after I make an announcement saying you don't need an Oculus, saying you will need an Oculus tomorrow, I had to make a decision with myself and all the admins in the project to say what's the way forward, because the options were delay the launch, which we don't want to do. It would have been unfair to allow people who have an Oculus to get the very centre. I know some people may argue, well, I've got an Oculus, I'm paying attention, I should be in the middle. That's true to some extent. But as always, we want to be as fair as we can to everybody in the project, as often as we can be. And I think you'll find, if you go back to the very start of all the AMAs, and every time we've talked about this up until very recently, we were talking about complete random assignment across the map. So it was only that Future Tech came to us about a week or two ago and said, look, we're going to assign them from the centre out. That's when we started talking about that. The preference has always been to assign them completely randomly, and it's lucky dip at that point. Yeah, someone says, surprised you only worked this issue out the day before. Yes, so am I. And it wasn't me that worked it out. It was the dev team at Future Tech who ran the live server, and then that's what they... So you've got obviously a difference between a dev server and a live server. And once you stick something live, there's always, issues sometimes. And this is the... this is the nature of dev to some extent. So all I can do is apologise to the community that this wasn't found before. It's been found at the point of going live, and we do our very, very best to make it fair and equitable for everybody. Someone said, yeah, can you launch into VR without an Oculus? You can't, not unless somebody's got a magical workaround that I don't know about. Craig M says, so the claim process will start in 7 hours, but no rush to claim. No. The claim process will start tomorrow at 9 p.m. So approximately 27 hours from now. So this time tomorrow plus 3 hours. That is actually when the whole city goes live. So there is one more update to happen to the Megastar City, which is allowing the public in to buy apartments and trade and buy storefronts. That's when the majority of people will be coming into that city. that is when our claiming will go live, and we will make sure that we've got everybody their codes in their hands by then. But like Craig says, there is absolutely no rush now, because whichever apartment or penthouse is assigned to you for the code, you will get randomly, and it could well be the one in the very centre. It could be a penthouse on the outskirts. It could just be an apartment 2 rows back from the centre. But look, we know these are all super, super hot, exciting properties to have, because, and I'll tell you for why, I've already been offered $1,000 for a code, which I've turned down. I would love to take $1,000 for a code, but it's not somebody who's in the project. It's not somebody who minted a jungle cat. So it would be beyond, it would not be correct for me to go and sell one or many codes, because I've been asked several different prices, offered a lot of money, and I can swear down we have not sold a single code and will not do. So all of these codes are yours and yours alone to do with that as you wish. If someone chooses to, who has an Oculus, come to you and want to buy one of your codes, then that's up to you. But again, as one of my mods and admins said an hour ago when we were discussing this, be very, very careful of scammers, because there may well be people who listen to this AMA and then start going to our verified holders. Have you got any codes? I'll buy them off you. And you end up giving a code away for nothing, or you get scammed, or you attach your wallet to a wrong site. So be really, really mindful. And if you do get somebody approach you, please, vet them very carefully. And I would be, you're going to get people now that are in the project who I would probably want them to go and buy a jungle cat from the secondary market. So this is obviously an opportunity for some people who are in the secondary market to come to those of you that will have several codes, and they could possibly then trade them with you at that point. But I'd probably only do it with verified holders. I don't know what Andy's or Mark's got to say around that.
I've got just one general thing to say, and I think most people know this. We've always been honest about what goes on, and as soon as we knew this, we had a meeting, we've discussed it as a team. We always try to be fair. The other thing is in respect to the other partners involved in this project, we are pioneering a lot here, and this is the first time a lot of stuff's been done in a particular way. And there's other parts of the project where there's been little hurdles and little stumbles, but it's always actually had, and one of the other guys said this, that Mark said it, the flip side is actually there's other benefits that come out of it. So I do ask for people to just step back and think about, we are breaking a lot of ground here and doing things in a new way. And because of that, there will always be little hiccups, but we always endeavour, and we always do, solve those problems. And I think that somebody's got our back in a really strange way, in a good way, because it is actually, there's more benefit to this now for people. Is that, there's less of a rush.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. We could, I'm sure there would be projects that would probably tell a lie and turn around and say, Oculus have caused a problem, or Future Tech of the dev hasn't worked. This is genuinely a case of coming to the point of launching something, and they find one button that is causing an issue. And I'll tell you for why. What it is my personal opinion is, obviously all the guys at Future Tech and Oculus, all of them have got Oculuses, and they've got Multiverse accounts, and they've got Oculus accounts, and they're in there every day, and nobody has sat back and said, I wonder what happens if nobody's got an Oculus and they haven't got they've never been in VR. And that's probably the truth of it. So we've come to that point, and they've rapidly realised over the last 24 hours that it was going to cause us a problem with this drop. We're doing our best to rectify it, and we are going to make sure that it's fair and everybody gets what they deserve. There's now no rush, which is a good thing. So you can take your time and come and get your apartment. It means that, you know, somebody who's probably me in the UK, I may well have been asleep tomorrow at midnight. I'm sure I wouldn't be as project lead, but somebody else in the UK, it's probably a little bit unfair on them to get them to stay up till 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning trying to claim an apartment when somebody in the US is able to do it at 7 o'clock in the evening. But now we've got a situation where you can take your time and claim up until 2030. So I genuinely hope I'm not sat here in 8 years' time saying, oh, but this will come back and bite me on the arse now, won't it? Saying, please, the few of you that have not claimed, can you please come and claim, because your apartment is now worth X number of millions of dollars. It'll be like the lost lottery ticket of forever. But there is a hard deadline of 2030, so I'm told. Personally, I wouldn't take that long to claim. But if you haven't got an Oculus, don't worry. Your apartment is sat there. There will be an announcement, an official announcement that follows this, because part of it will contradict the announcement that went out at 4 p.m. today. So look out for that. It is going to point people towards this video because people do need to watch it. Let's just have 5 minutes questions because I don't want to keep this open too long. Is anybody want to ask a question? Put your hand up if you want to ask something, and maybe, yeah, will I invite you onto the stage? Heather?
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
I can, perfectly.
Hi. I was just wondering, I missed the original deadline on the 12th, and I'm not sure if I was going to receive my code. If I missed it, now that the deadline has been extended, will I get a code?
It's a really good question. I haven't thought of the answer up until now. Seeing as there is a technical difficulty, I think the mods and admins and myself would probably be willing to entertain late claims up until, shall we say, the end of today, so that we're ready, because we have to start issuing codes tomorrow. I would want all the tickets by midnight tonight. Is that fair?
Yes, I sent in a support ticket. Is that good enough, or do I need to send a different ticket?
Right, just bear with us a second, because Jane's got something she needs to add.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have had tickets coming in, and Heather, yes, I did see your ticket come in. There is another server limitation that we just bumped up against that I'm trying to figure out how to get around, where we've got not only there was the category limitation where could be 50 in each category. Now we have a 500 limit on the number of tickets. So I was wondering why we didn't have any more tickets coming in after the 13th, and that's obviously why. So for those of you who have put in tickets already, if you want to get us all of the information that is requested, and that's part of the process. You have to respond to the ticket and answer our questions and do the collab land join and that kind of thing. But I'm not sure that we will be able to allow more tickets to come in. In between, I will take time to try to resolve that. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that we're ready for those people who did get their claims in on time,
right? So
to allow them to claim.
Can we say this then, Jane, is if anyone feels that they have a claim that is not in a ticket currently, DM me directly, but it must include your wallet address that you minted the Jungle Cat from, and you do need to be a verified holder. That's all we need, isn't it, Jane?
Yes, and the number of cats that were minted.
Yeah. The number of cats you minted, the wallet address you minted them from. And
so one thing that I'm not sure if we've gotten clarification on, so obviously if anybody has an Oculus, then the point about having the Oculus account is moot. So we don't have the exact instructions on how the claim is going to happen, which we will share, but the Multiverse Online account, for those who don't have an Oculus, I think that's a moot point at this point. because we'll have to worry about that in the future.
Yeah, if there is a scenario where people have got an Oculus, but they've never been into the multiverse, and that's when there's a difference between, as I understand it, the first time you go into the multiverse app, it will attach your multiverse account to your Oculus account, and that's the step that you need to take. So it is conceivable, in the scenario where you've been in the multiverse and you click the URL to claim, it will assign it to your account. There may be a scenario where you've got an Oculus, you've never been in the multiverse, then you will have to launch it, go into the multiverse app, and then attach it. Okay, so it's a little bit more complicated, but it's all doable. And if anybody's got issues, like we said, there's no rush now, and it can all be sorted. It's actually quite a good thing that there's no rush, because one, we didn't want a massive tsunami of support tickets, and equally we didn't want people, struggling. And now you can actually take your time over the next couple of weeks if that's what you want to do. And equally also you can take, Mark said to me earlier, it'll be great if we can get people in the project to get an Oculus and get involved and come into the multiverse and come and see the shows, because at the end of the day, that's the reason you're all here. And presumably, people did buy the Jungle Cats to get free lifetime access to comedy, and also the apartment. And if you're not going to take advantage of the free comedy and just want the apartment, well, maybe you just want to sell the code. And some people will do that. Obviously the code, when you get it tomorrow, is an asset. And I fully expect, I would rather it doesn't happen, but I do fully expect people to be going on to some of the multiverse groups and going, anybody want a joke redeem code to get an apartment? But bear in mind, the minute you give that code to somebody and they click it and it's attached to an account, that's it, it's done. That code is burned, and it will be permanently attached to that account that you attach it to, until such time as that person then decides to sell it. So you've got no chance of getting it back. Like if you published on a group and said, I've got this code, first person to click on it will steal your apartment or penthouse. So be very careful not to publish a code anywhere publicly, or show it to anyone before you've got paid, or like at this point you could say to a friend or relative who's got an Oculus, do you want to hold on to my apartment for me? Because there was somebody said to me earlier, well, what we could do is say, I'll put the apartments into my account. I went, whoa, hold on, no, because I'll know what they are then. I'll know which ones are a penthouse and which ones are an apartment. So I don't want to get into a scenario where I get accused of I've given somebody a better apartment than a penthouse, etc., etc. So we're not getting into a scenario like that. You will get given your codes and you redeem them at your own leisure. Okay. The main point is you don't need to have an Oculus in the future, because one, you're going to get a fairly allocated apartment within that city, which you've seen built. We are going to be running a big competition next week, and that's going to give away some more apartments and penthouses to people. So that's going to be really an important thing. So please do support that, because that's going to get a big buzz around the token. We really, really want to take this opportunity as a community to push the token. So please help us do that. You've obviously got the opportunity to take part in that competition as well. I'll probably see more people with Oculuses taking part in that, but this is our opportunity to bring a lot more people in from the outskirts of the Infiniverse into the joke world and into our community, and get them active in this community. Like, it's amazing to see 50 people on an ad hoc AMA. I know it's a big day for us, but it's great to see so many people listening and wanting to get involved. I know it's a bittersweet bit of news. Some of it's not great, could be better. We wish we could make every piece of dev work 100% all the time. Hopefully we've come up with a great solution that works for the project as well as all of you guys. So there's no rush. That's hope. It's not going to upset too many people. I know there will have been the eager beavers who were, I'm going to be first and I'm going to win. Well, you now no longer, unfortunately, have that opportunity. You will get assigned randomly just like anyone. But like I said earlier, that was one of the things we did always say up until a couple of weeks ago when it was changed by Multiverse. So anybody else got anything they want to add or a question? Put your hand up if you've got a question.
Yes. Hey, Simon, I got a question, Simon.
Yeah, go.
Hey, first of all, congratulations. I know you guys have worked very hard to get. I'm happy for you guys. The question I got for you is, I haven't been on the Multiverse in a little while. Is it actually? Can you walk through it yet, or is it not yet available?
Yeah, so it's amazing. If you go into the Infiniverse,
is it on the map? Can I?
Yeah.
Is it listed?
Yeah,
okay.
It's listed now as of today. You can search Megastar City voice search. You can go into the Infini Hub. There's a link to it there. Obviously, those guys. See, I did, if I'm honest, threaten to push our launch right earlier today when I found out what was happening. And that would be disastrous for the Infiniverse because they've got a massive amount of publicity going around this city, and the city was built for us, right? It is our hub. It's going to be our home. It's going to be the people within this project. Andy and I are meeting one of the UK's biggest comedians on Friday, an hour ahead of his gig. He's becoming founder level within our universe. He will be wanting to have a presence in Megastar City. We're meeting with like the Gotham Comedy Club in New York and Boston. They're going to have a presence in that city. This hub can become a massive centre for entertainment within the whole Infiniverse. So yes, it's on the map. Yes, it's going to be linked from the main central gateway. It's really, there's a video you're going to see go out over the next couple of days about me talking about community, and this project is about community. Obviously it's not called the Joke Community. I think it was called that a little bit luckily in some respect, because it's the fact it's a community that is what is going to make it so great in the future, and not obviously now, but it's going to make it what it's going to be, because it's going to be people who have got a love of comedy getting together in one place. And we all know how which crypto projects do well are the ones that have the great communities, the ones that have the hype, but we'll have the hype plus the community and a base and somebody somewhere in a metaverse where we can all reside and come and see each other and create a real space for everyone to talk to each other. So look, that's the opportunity with the city is so big that we can control the majority of what goes on in that city. Get in there tomorrow. If you've got a chance, if you've got an Oculus, get in there tomorrow. Talk to people, because we will be. And hopefully I'll meet you all in there. Scotty, did you have a question?
I will.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. First of all, I appreciate you just thinking about us. We're a little new at all of this, and I thank you because I have I bought the original, your original NFT, but I missed that opportunity to, I guess, do what I need to do for that one. But I do have 9 other ones, so I wasn't freaking out a little, thinking, oh my gosh, I got to get there tomorrow. What am I doing? I do have an Oculus, but to be honest, this is also new to me. And I was wondering, do you have, even just to go in tomorrow and claim, I'm not quite sure what I need to do. I know Jane Jetson has been great. She's been so helpful. But I was wondering if there's directions, maybe written directions on the steps that we need to take just to go into.
Yeah, there'll be a very clear set of steps, which you're obviously lucky if you've got an Oculus already. Have you been into the Infiniverse already and walked around?
Not into the Infiniverse. I don't think I have, to be honest. This is also new to me.
So if you download the Multiverse app,
okay,
and then go into that app with your Oculus on, and it'll ask
Okay.
you then, do you want to attach your Oculus account to your Multiverse Online account? And obviously you put yes, and at that point you're ready to go. You will have in a ticket, so I presume you've got a ticket open with your wallet address in it, have you?
Yes, thanks to Jan Jets.
Right. So you will receive a reply to that ticket tomorrow with your redeem codes, and you can then open. So you'll have your Motorverse Online account open. You'll have your Oculus account open. You will launch in VR, and you will then click the URL, and it will say, I think it says something like, are you certain you wish to attach this apartment permanently to the account name and whatever your account is called? And once you click yes, it is in your account. So if you've got several, it might be a tactic now that there's no rush to go and do one day, do one another day, because it might give you a better spread across the map. I don't know. It might be absolutely, completely random, and if you just banged all of them in one after the other, you'd be a great test case to see what happens. And we'd love to hear what happens if you do. You know, if you've did you say you've got 9?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to see if you did 3 or 4, what happened. You know, are they near each other? Are they not? Is one a penthouse? Are 3 penthouses? I don't know, but there'll also be. I know there'll be people possibly wandering around the map, talking to other people, going, "Well, I just got one. Mine's in the centre," and then they're trying to do one, or it'll be like playing the slot machines. Who knows where you end up? But like we've said, they're all really valuable, and people wouldn't have bought the Jungle Cats in the first place if you weren't getting a benefit like this. You know, I know. You know, you don't need 9 of them to get what lifetime access of comedy. You need 1, right? So your motivation partially was to get 9 apartments. So
Right.
and they will be, as far as I'm concerned, and I can't confirm. I'm not allowed to confirm anything to do with how the whole world of the Infiniverse develops into NFTs. Everyone needs to draw their own conclusion, but I don't think you would find 400,000 apartments getting sold in the Infiniverse if that many people thought that it was just going to stay as a game. But, you know, we all have to hope that it's going to transform into something that we all believe it will be in the shorter order than, well, I think personally it will be at some point this year. But, you know, there are no guarantees and there are no announcements as it stands from the Future Tech or Multiverse team. So, but if somebody's offering me $1,000 for a code at this point, what's it going to be worth in 6 months or a year? Who knows? So we shall see. Hopefully that answered your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Cool. And we'll see you again on here. If you drop in, we're here every. I know this one's ad hoc, but every Monday and Thursday we're here to answer questions. So if you ever want to come on and chat or chew the fat, the Thursday one is more of a discussion. The Mondays tend to be more announcement based.
Perfect.
Anybody else got a question before we call this one to a halt? Are there any other questions floating about, Jane?
I can't see anything, Simon.
I don't know. Has the real Big Ben asked his question?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. Sorry, I'm answering in between. We got Stephen's View that just came on.
Hello.
Hey, how's it? Sorry, probably late to the conversation, but I haven't received any claim codes or anything. Is that a concern?
No, so the codes will be issued tomorrow now.
Okay, gotcha.
We didn't want to create a lot of what do I do now when people were getting codes and then they can't claim, and there has been information obviously out there that says the claim starts tonight. So I didn't want people sitting up till midnight here or later and going, well, I should have had my codes, posting FOMO in, like, etc. So we will put an announcement straight after this AMA with the information in it. The codes will come to you tomorrow, I think, and it may well change, between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. UK time, okay? So that's 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. UTC. So it's about lunchtime in the States, I think. Something like that. Somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. But tomorrow there's a 2-hour window that the majority of those codes will be issued. But as long as you've got your ticket in and you're verified, you're good.
Okay, I'm going to be traveling tomorrow and wasn't planning on bringing my headset with me. Is there going to be, I guess, a deadline that we need to claim those claim codes? Is there?
Yeah.
You mentioned that they're random, but
No, there is a deadline. It is December 31st, 2029.
Okay. All right, I think I can get it by then.
Yeah, I hope so. No, look, it's 2030 is the day that the codes expire. So you're locked in, like you will get your apartment or penthouse whenever you come and claim. And the reason they've done it like that, they extended the length of time to be able to claim at our request because we realise now there may well be people that never get an Oculus. There may be people that just want to do it on a browser, or they've got an HTC headset, and the compatibility for that is getting built in. So as those devices get added, you then wouldn't need an Oculus. So personally, I prefer it that you're not locked into the meta universe, with Facebook owning Oculus. But obviously Future Tech are trying to build a multiverse and a metaverse which is accessible by all and all devices. So all devices will be added and you'll be able to claim through one of those in the future.
Okay, great. Appreciate it.
Cool. But have a good trip.
Will do. Thanks.
One more thing that I would
I think we probably need to tie Simon because obviously this was meant to be 15 minutes and for quick watch backs.
Yeah, okay. All right. So yeah, we'll tie this one up. I know the mods and admins want a quick chat with me afterwards, so I'm going to stop streaming.